Is a junior suite on Royal Caribbean actually worth the extra money? For our recent cruise on Allure of the Seas, we decided to try it ourselves. This is Junior Suite 10632 and is our home for the week. Let me show you the cabin, the perks that come with it, and whether the upgrade is really worth it. Right after this. Hi fellow travelers, welcome back to my channel, Ken Travels 360. I'm Ken. We've just boarded Allure of the Seas in Fort Lauderdale, and it feels great to be back cruising with Royal Caribbean again on this Royal Amplify Oasis Class ship. What's more, this time we splashed out on a junior suite. I'm genuinely curious to see whether the extra space and perks really justify the higher price. So let's head over to our cabin now. Right, this is our cabin 10632. We're pretty much midship on the starboard side, which is usually a nice stable location. Let's head inside. Wow. Welcome to our junior suite. First of all, you will see there's a thermostat here, which you can use to control the temperature. And first, we'll check out the bathroom. Because it is a junior suite, the bathroom is noticeably larger than what you would normally get in a standard balcony cabin. The sink itself is a good size, although I have to say the vanity looks slightly dated. This might sound surprising, but Allure of the Seas is actually around 16 or 17 years old now, having entered service back in 2009. Back then, marble finishes were very popular because they gave a feeling of luxury and grandeur. But these days, cruise ships tend to go for a cleaner, more modern look instead. Above the sink, you've got rows of handy cubby holes, which are perfect for storing your own toiletries and keeping the counter clean. And then there's a bit more storage under the sink as well. One of the big differences in a junior suite is that you get a proper bathtub rather than just a glass enclosed shower. You also get upgraded branded toiletries in large pump bottles. You've got body wash, shampoo, conditioner, and body lotion. The brand is Salt and Breeze. It sounds like one of those slightly generic P&G brands, but I digress. Now, directly across the bathroom, you've got a walk-in closet. I love it in here, it's really big. You've got lots of shelf space up there, and there's more space over here as well, and there are lots of hangers. You could easily store your suitcases in here as well. Normally, we slide them under the bed, which I think is still the case here, but because we got this lovely big space, we can use it to keep everything tucked away in the wardrobe, which keeps the cabin feeling nice and uncluttered. And of course, because this is a junior suite, we also get bathrobes, which is always a nice touch. Alright, let's check out the rest of the cabin. Now here, we've got the bed. It looks big and comfy. Currently, it's configured as king, but it can also be separated into two twin beds if you prefer. Just let your stateroom attendant know. On either side of the bed, you've got bedside tables. They're not especially large, and there aren't any USB charging ports or power socket here either. I suppose when this ship was designed, people weren't traveling with so many gadgets to charge. Well, next to the bed, you've got this enormous sofa. And there's also a chair and a coffee table. So you actually got a proper little sitting area here. It's nice to have somewhere to sit that isn't just the bed. Over on the other side, you've got the TV. It's actually surprisingly small. The screen on Norwegian Aqua was definitely bigger than this. Again, this is what you get with an older ship. Having said that, we barely ever watch TV on a cruise anyway, because there's always so much going on around the ship. Well, over here, you've got a Lavazza coffee machine, and Steve is very happy about that. This is another nice perk of staying in a junior suite. It wasn't originally here actually when we boarded the ship, because the previous one was broken. Eventually, they came back with a new one. Right, there are plenty of drawers on both sides of the desk. And down there, you've got the mini bar, We brought some wine on board with us, so we're keeping it nicely chilled in there. Next to the desk, there's a cupboard, and inside you'll find the safe. It's fine for little things like wallet, jewelries, and watches, but it's almost certainly too small for a laptop. Now you've got a few mirrors in here. 1, 2, and 3. And the left one and the right one, you can actually open them up and reveal a few tiny shelves. And just underneath the main mirror, you will find a couple of US-style power sockets, as well as a European one. And yes, that's all you get, so definitely bring some adapters with you. Alright, it's time to head outside and check out the balcony. But before we do, if you've been enjoying this tour so far, please put the like button. And if you would like to follow along with our cruise adventures, I would love it if you hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Okay, let's head outside. Wow, check this out. This is definitely much bigger than a normal balcony cabin. Not only do you get 2 chairs, you also got a proper sized table and a couple of sun loungers here as well. But let's hope the weather will be good enough to use them. Now here's a little fun fact. We almost didn't end up with this cabin. We booked this nice and early, but about 10 days before the cruise, we received an email from Royal Caribbean offering us a downgrade. They offered a 50% refund if we moved to a larger balcony cabin, or a full refund of the entire cruise fare if we moved to a regular balcony cabin. It was genuinely tempting, but we actually got this junior suite at a very good price in the first place, and we're really happy with the value. And also, we stuck with it because junior suite earned double crown and anchor points, and we're working our way towards diamond status. So if we'd accepted the downgrade, we would have lost those double points. You could argue that with those refunds, we could always book another cruise instead. But the reality for me is that I don't really have enough PTO to squeeze in another cruise this year anyway. So we decided to stick with what we've already planned and make this one count. I'd love to know what you would have done in this scenario. Would you have taken the refund and downgraded? Or would you have kept the junior suite? Let me know in the comments. One other benefit worth mentioning with a junior suite is access to coastal kitchen, although it's not guaranteed. It depends entirely on availability, and higher level suites always get priority. Earlier when we boarded, we went straight over to coastal kitchen to check, and we managed to secure dinner there for 2 nights, which we're reasonably happy about. I'll definitely share our experience later in the cruise. So that's the main cabin tour done. I'll come back to you in a few days once we've actually lived in this cabin and sail on Allure for a bit. So, after 7 days cruising on Allure of the Seas, I'm now ready to answer the important question. Was the junior suite actually worth paying extra for on this cruise? For us, the answer is yes, especially on a busy Oasis Class ship like Allure. The extra space in the cabin made a big difference over 8 days. The walk-in wardrobe also helped keep the cabin tidy and organized, which sounds like a small thing, but when you are living out of a suitcase for over a week, it really does make the cabin feel more comfortable. And then there's the access to coastal kitchen in the evenings. For us, this was probably the biggest single benefit of the junior suite. The food quality there was consistently excellent, and it felt like eating in a high-quality restaurant rather than a large ship dining room. You also get some nice practical perks with the suite category, like priority boarding and double crown and anchor society points, which helps build status faster for future cruises. Overall, if you enjoy having more personal space, a larger balcony, and a quieter, higher quality dining option included in your fare, then the junior suite starts to feel like a good value rather than just a luxury upgrade. For us, it's genuinely improved the overall experience of the cruise. Well, I hope you enjoyed this junior suite tour. If you want to find out more about this cruise we are on now, watch one of these videos next. See you over there. Happy cruising!